it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Dr. Keith Ablow is a friend. He is one of America's leading psychiatrists, best-selling author, co-host of this hit podcast, Stand Up, Lie Down. People stop me and say, out of the clear blue sky, I heard you with Keith Ablow. You were great on Stan and Joe Matarese Stand Up, Lie Down podcast. Dr. Keith, welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you this morning?
Joe, I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Positive. People stopping me about this podcast that we did. I said, oh, my gosh, because sometimes you think, it's going to have a little what they call narrow casting audience. Everybody's listening to it. I poured my heart out to you, Keith, on that show, and everybody heard it. But thanks for the sit down. I needed that. I needed that therapy, Dr. Keith.
It lasts a good long time, Joe. One session, and I find that it's not much of a business for me, because generally one session, people see, I'll see in a year or two, I feel pretty good. So I don't know, but I'm glad that people are listening to it, and it was good. It was good just to have the opportunity to dive deeper into the Piscopo stuff.
Oh, please.
The crevices of your cortex.
as it were. At 7:09 with Keith Ablow, Dr. Keith Ablow. Hey, Dr. Keith, take me inside Kim Jong-un psychologically. I mean, why do you think he came to the table, and what is your take of this whole summit, if we may ask?
I think a couple of things. One is I think people can become very practical when it becomes an all-or-nothing proposition. And I think he may be many things, but I don't think the man is stupid. And I think with a leader like Donald Trump in office, I think, it's pretty easy to do the arithmetic and say, look, I'd rather have my survival and that of my nation, frankly, and prosper than oppose someone who is absolutely resolute that he's not going to expose the United States to a dangerous nuclear power. And we can't do that because it's an all-or-nothing sum game now, that this is not going to happen. Donald Trump, I think, is Reagan-esque in that sense. I think he puts the message out there. Either you're with us or you're against us. And if you're against us and very dangerous, we're going to have to deal with you in the most draconian way. And I think the man added up the arithmetic and said, look, I can't lose here. I have to join Donald Trump. The other thing is I think there's a father-son thing possible here. And Trump said we have a special bond.
Yeah, look at that.
This is a man doesn't have a father, and I think he may literally be able to say, well, wait, here's somebody who can kind of guide me, show me how to prosper even more, and how to go down in the history books as even more special.
Yeah, that's a great take, Dr. Keith. That's a great take because you saw that Donald Trump, President Trump, took the initiative, leaning Kim Jong-un around with the hand, a little touch on the elbow, and then this way. We're going that way with this way. He took complete control of this. And Kim looked, I don't know, not lost, but he was following the president. That's a great, tells you a lot about Donald Trump's psychology, yes?
It absolutely does, because I think he's a big-hearted guy, and I think he loves to teach. That's where the book, The Art of the Deal, comes in. If you read that book, you're like, wait, I think he's actually telling me what he does. He wants me to know some of the inside scoop on how to win.
Yeah.
And I think for Kim Jong-un, he may literally say, wait, I feel like really connected to this person. He wants me to prosper. He wants my people to prosper.
Yeah.
Now, if he dyes his hair and it starts growing out, we could have another psychological discussion about how close the men are getting.
Thank you for bringing that up, man. I said, man, I'm holding on to my hair best I can, man. I know, I said, I'm looking at Kim Jong-un. What a haircut! Who gave that guy a haircut? No, I didn't see anybody talking about the haircut. You think that maybe it would be great, Kim Jong-un?
Maybe you need that to be a world leader. You either get nothing like Putin and me, or you do a lot with it.
I know, but it would be funny if he grew it out and he dyed it blonde.
You get Dennis Rodman there. And he used to do that thing with his hair.
Yeah, man.
I think there's a hair thing going on.
That's great. Oh, my gosh. That's the sketch. That is the sketch. Hey, Dr. Keith Ablow with Piscopo in the morning, 12 after 7 o'clock, psychologically breaking down this summit. So when the president goes to the G7 summit, and he's there, and he goes after Trudeau and Macron and Angela Merkel, and he's sitting there with his arms crossed. And help me out here, Keith, because I'm watching this and I'm smiling, and I think most of America, certainly most of the folks listening to the program this morning, we know this is Donald Trump. This is the art of the deal right there. This is it right there. He's playing this because he knows what's coming up 24 hours later with this rogue regime leader in Kim Jong-un. It wasn't that a play? But everybody got so excited. Oh, my gosh, with the way he disrespected Canada. And I told everybody yesterday, just calm down. Isn't that the Donald Trump negotiating, Dr. Keith? Don't you think so?
I think it's absolutely vintage Donald Trump negotiation. And I think what people don't understand is that the man simply adds up numbers and does arithmetic. He doesn't hate you for trying to put one over on the United States, I don't think. I mean, he's like, look, you guys have been using us as an ATM, okay?
Yep.
But now I've gone in, I've had my accountants look at it, and you're stealing, okay? So we're going to fix that. And when he gets back resistance or like disgust toward us, he's like, okay, here's the thing. I'll cross my arms, and I'll tell you, how we're going to deal with this. We're not going to deal with it because I just did the numbers. I don't understand it. This guy builds buildings. So you go to him and you say, this is how much the steel is. He says, what? Get in the elevator.
Yeah.
That's how much the steel is. What do you think? I was born yesterday. I'm from New York.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. Hey, Dr. Keith, we appreciate your time this morning, and I know you got patients waiting as we speak. 14 after 7. But you have your favorite patient on the air with you right now. Thank you very much.
You're doing very well so far.
Listen, thank you, doctor.
In life, you're doing very well.
Oh, please.
I'd like you to be governor. I keep bringing this up. Your life story isn't everything it needs to be. Okay. God, it's like I have to write you a prescription. Joe Piscopo, run for governor. Gee, I'll sign it, okay?
This is good. I'll get a note from the doctor.
Substitute.
A note from the doctor.
Substitute Senate. I don't really care.
Hey, doctor, what do you think about this Anthony Bourdain, this Kate Spade situation, and mostly people like my age, the older folks? They're killing themselves. Keith, walk us through that. It's like an epidemic a little bit, no?
Yeah, Joe, it's with utmost seriousness. Depression. I've treated billionaires. I've treated members of presidential cabinets. People laid low by major depression. The thing about depression is that it's irrational and almost delusional, and this is what I mean by that. When you're very, very depressed, and I've been depressed, by the way, but when you're very, very depressed, you can't believe that your life has another chapter left in it. You're like, oh, wait, that's the last page. I just wrote it. This is it. Done. Can't imagine picking up the pen. And yet, so that's what you need is number one, you need someone to tell you, listen, freedom is having nothing left to lose. If you're at the point where you're thinking of checking out, you can be a bartender in Aruba. It doesn't matter. You can sell everything and decide I'm starting again. I don't like this. But the trouble is you need to have a little bit of imagination, and someone has to stoke that for you. And secondly, there are so many treatments now. There's transcranial magnetic stimulation, essentially no side effects, right? It resurrects people from depression, even people who haven't benefited from medicine. There's ketamine. Ketamine is a wonder drug. Anybody out there in your very, very large audience who's now saying, man, I just don't know if I can do it. Here's the thing. There are more resources than you know. You have to go see someone and say, what else is in your bag of tricks? Because I'm at the end of my rope here. What can I do? There's a lot you can do.
Wow. So how do you, if you're Anthony Bourdain, you're Kate Spade, you're at the top of your game, you've got all people around you, there's assistants, there's all sorts of people. Anthony Bourdain had dinner the night before and with friends. What
scary?
What? And you you see it a lot. We're all trying to put our hands around. Wow, everything's going great, and how do you get that dark where you actually? Keith, I mean, not to get morbid this early in the morning, but you got to take the time. You got to take the bathrobe thing, and you had to do it takes a while to do that. Not unlike what the late, great, brilliant Robin Williams did, rest his soul.
Yeah, and you know what? Believe it or not, folks can walk through their day and have at the back of their mind, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Wow.
Listen, I've sat with somebody with his family, who is vastly, vastly wealthy. I'm talking about a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he thought he was bankrupt. He said, I'm going bankrupt, okay, and I can't live like this. And I saw them present to him all the documents, everything that showed how wealthy he was, unbelievably wealthy, fabulously. And he said, thank you guys so much. He said, it must have taken you so long to forge all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
And to try to, it wasn't forged. It was the real thing, but he couldn't believe it in his mind.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how dark and closed things can get. And yet, I'm telling you, anybody who feels like they're on, God forbid, that slippery slope or near the end of the slope, it can be turned around literally now in a week.
Yeah.
With ketamine, you could be out of it saying, oh, my God, I was so close.
Wow. And well, before we let you go, Keith, this is fascinating. What role do antidepressants or psychotropic drugs play?
Well, listen, I'm a huge fan of psychotherapy, but I'm also not timid about using antidepressants because the truth is, man, if you're depressed, and I used antidepressants when I was depressed. If you're depressed, these things can turn you around, right? Because they're allowing the neurotransmitters to act more powerfully. And they get a bad rap, and people say, well, are they better than placebo? Hey, listen, I've seen it again and again. They work wonders. But now we've got new technology, transcranial magnetic stimulation, company called BrainsWay.
Yeah, what do they do? They put things on your head, Keith, like like we see. It's not like the cuckoo's nest, right, or anything like that.
Not at all. No, this is literally like you wear like a lightweight helmet. It's connected to a machine.
Wow.
It's literally delivering little magnetic pulses to the part of the brain that's underactive in depression.
Wow.
Many, many pulses. You do it 30 days for half an hour.
Yeah.
You can go right to work afterwards. You don't have side effects. There's no seizure, no memory loss.
Wow.
And half the people who have responded to nothing, sometimes their whole lives, I've seen people who for 2 decades haven't worked, get TMS by this company BrainsWay, and they're back to work.
This is fascinating. And Dr. Keith Ablow, before we let you go, appreciate your valuable time, my friend Keith. But so you're feel good, Donald J. Trump, Kim Jong-un, psychologically, you didn't see anything peculiar. This is good. We could at least for the moment celebrate as Americans.
At least for the moment, right? Trust but verify.
Yeah.
But not only would I be optimistic, I would say it feels like all the dominoes are in place for them to fall in the right direction where these two leaders could end up so very close. And Korea might even reunite. We might see them as a valuable trading partner in the future together. And think of the millions of people in North Korea right now who have more hope. And that's because enough people in America saw through all the noise and said, no, Donald J. Trump, he could do it.
Wow. Dr. Keith Ablow, you could do it, and you always do, sir, and we appreciate it very much. And hopefully we'll see you soon when you come to New York, okay?
All right, Piscopo for governor.
Right.
I did a write-in ballot this time. Nobody cared. I'm not even from the States, so they were like, who is this guy sending in this ballot?
I need the note. I need my doctor's note. Keith, we love you.
Every time I'm going to do it. Talk to you later.
Okay, Dr. Keith Ablow, he is a brilliant man, America's leading psychiatrist, best-selling author, and co-host of the podcast Stand Up, Lie Down, which I was actually psychoanalyzed on that program. If you want to look that up, very, very interesting.
Everybody knows this guy. No, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.